Okay, this is Kurt Roars at Southwestern Retirement Planning Advisors. Today we're going to talk about retirement mistakes to avoid. Since we focus particularly on retirement planning, we've seen a lot of these things and I want to make sure that you are aware of them. First one I want to talk about is sometimes people mistake journalists as financial advisors. They are not. A lot of them happen to be journalism majors that may or may not have any experience in the financial industry and really don't have a good feel for these things. Another thing that we see very often is people retiring without liquidity. All their funds are tied up in, say, annuities or life insurance or pension funds, or really can't get at large chunks of cash if they really need it, and sometimes you really need it. So another thing that we work on as financial planning advisors is to set goals for people. A lot of people retire without any real goal in mind, so there's nothing to work towards as far as making a plan. Another problem that we can run into or mistake they have is drawing income from the wrong assets. This does take some planning to make sure that we get the most benefit out of this we possibly can. Another thing we see is choosing a wrong beneficiary on accounts. We do a beneficiary audit for clients to make sure that if something does happen, that their funds will go to the person that they truly intended to. Ignoring inflation. Some costs may not increase for you. If you have a mortgage, for instance, that's probably not going to increase, but other costs, particularly in healthcare, may come under inflation rather rapidly, and we have to plan for that. Dismissing the need for long-term care. Eventually, most people will need some sort of care in that regard, and it is different than living in your home the way you are now. So we need to consider that and make sure that we have a good plan to finance that. Being talked into the wrong investments. We see this quite a bit. People go to seminars and go to a nice lunch and dinner and wind up buying something that they really shouldn't have, that really was not very good for them. So again, talking to a full-service financial advisor can give you a lot of options and advantages and disadvantages of these things. So last thing, I just want to make sure that you're not thinking about tomorrow like it's going to be just like today. Things will be different from you down the road, and we need to consider those issues. So in conclusion, you should meet with an experienced financial advisor that's gone through this a few times. And one thing I want you to do is get on our website at www.swretire.com and request a free copy of our book, Retirement Mistakes to Avoid. There's a lot more information I think you'll find useful.